Hey guys, it's Stacy with Handmade by Stacy Today I'm coming at you with a crocheted Snarf scarf for your critter. Now this is a simple pattern. It works up in about an hour, maybe 2 hours tops, and you only have 4 ends to weave in when you work this. It uses about 60 yards of yarn, and it's all worked in one piece. So you'll do a strap, then you do the body, then you do the strap. So it's very simple, and you just work in the back loop, which gives it a really neat texture to create, but it's also worked sideways. So you're working increases and decreases just on these rows, and then the rest stays nice and straight. So before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel because it helps me out a lot. Also, if you want to see the written pattern for this, I do have it for free on my website at www.handmadebystacyj.com. But before we do anything, please get out your measuring tape and measure the circumference of your dog's neck. And then you're going to subtract that by 3 inches, and that's what's going to determine how long you're going to make this body of the scarf. And then these right here are about 6 inches. So the straps are about 6 inches each. Now, if you have a tiny critter, you can make it a little bit shorter. That's totally up to you. It's very easy to customize this. You just make less rows. Or if you have a larger dog and you want to go bigger, then you can just add more. My dog has about a 16-inch neck. So for him, this size worked out perfectly because there was enough room to give it that nice tie. So grab your hook, grab some yarn, and let's get started. Before we begin, let's go over the materials that we're going to need for this project. So I'm using the King Cole Cherish Baby Double Knitting Yarn, and this yarn is lovely. It's super soft. It is 100% low-pilling acrylic, which makes it machine washable. So it's good and durable to wear with our critters. Now each ball comes with 262 yards or 240 meters. Now this is in the color white, this one's the color red. I used 40 yards of the red and 18 yards of the white. So you don't need a whole lot of yarn, but I do highly recommend this yarn. Now, just as a disclosure, I am a King Cole ambassador, and they send me wonderful yarn that I get to design with, and this is one of the projects I designed with their yarn as part of our ongoing collaboration. The other materials we will need this is totally optional, but a stitch marker or 2 if you like for helping keep track of your rows or for the right side. I always use these things. You also need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends, and a measuring tape to measure your doggo's neck and also to help you with measuring your piece as you go. Now for the crochet hook, I'm using a size G plus or a 4.5 millimeter. This is my absolute favorite hook. It's from Furls. This is a resin streamline in the Galaxy series. This is the Aries line. Now I am an affiliate for Furls, so if you'd like to get your hands on one of these hooks, I will have an affiliate link down below as well. So let's go ahead and get started. For this scarf, we're making it all in one piece. So we're going to begin by making the necktie, or at least one side of the necktie. So I'm using my main color and my hook, and I'm going to make my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 4. Now in that third chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3, and this guy right here, we're going to work a half double crochet. Then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next chain. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now we're going to work a half double crochet in that first stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then a half double crochet in the top of the turning chain. Now in this pattern, this is the only time you will be using that turning chain, and I'll show you why. So chain 2 and turn. Now we're going to begin the pattern repeat. So in this first stitch right here, you're going to work a half double crochet because this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So yarn over, insert that hook, work your half double crochet. Then you're going to work 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. So for a total of 3 half double crochets. That's 2 and 3. Now you're going to ignore that turning chain because remember, these chain 2s do not count as a stitch. So you'll chain 2 and turn. And then you do the same thing over. So yarn over, work a half double crochet in that first stitch, work a half double crochet in the next stitch, and a half double crochet in the next stitch. And you'll just continue doing this until you reach about 6 inches or however long you want half of your tie to be for your critter. So I'm going to continue until I reach 6 inches and I'll meet you at the end of that. So I have my strap to where it's about 6 inches now. And now we're ready to begin the body of the scarf. Before we do that, I'm going to mark this side as the right side. So I'm just going to use a stitch marker for that. And you can use a piece of yarn or anything that you like, just something to indicate this is the right side. And what we're going to be doing is doing increases on the left side of the work. And the right side right here, or the right-handed side, we're not going to be doing any increases or decreases. So this way it just kind of helps you to keep track of which side you're going. Now another way to keep track is knowing that when you're working on the right side, you'll always have an even number of stitches. When you're on the wrong side, you'll always have an odd number. And I'll show you how that works out. So to begin, we're going to start our increase row. So we're going to work a half double crochet in the back loop only in this first stitch. So we'll yarn over, and in this back loop that's facing the wrong side, work a half double crochet. And then we're going to do that in the next stitch. And then in the next stitch after that, we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the back loop only. So you have a total of 4 stitches. But we're not going to chain with our main color. Instead, we are now going to add our contrast color. So in my case, I'm using white. So I'm going to bring that on in. I'm going to snug that up a little bit. I'm going to chain 1. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to do another increase in this first stitch, and then we're going to work evenly across. But before we do any of that, make sure you do not cut your main color yarn, and we're not going to cut our yarn at all until we're done with the contrast color. And the beauty of that is that at the end of the project, you'll only have 4 ends to weave in. So we're going to carry this red yarn, or our main color yarn, with us. And we're going to work 2 single crochets in this first stitch. And they're just regular single crochets. They're not in the back loop or in the front loop or anything, just regular single crochets. So 1 and 2. Then we're going to work a single crochet in all the stitches across. So then we are number 3, 4, and 5. Now I will give this just a slight tug to make sure that it's nice and straight and it's nice and tidy. Now you don't want to pull too tight, because if you do, then you're going to end up with a really wonky edge here. So now that we have that wrong side row, we're just going to continue repeating the process we just did. So to work the next row, we're going to take our main color and we're going to chain 2. We're going to tighten that up a little bit. We'll rotate. Now we're back on the right side. So this is where we're going to do the increases on the left side of the body. So carrying this contrasting color, we're going to work a half double crochet in the back loop of that first stitch. And then we'll work a half double crochet in each of the other stitches in the back loop only, carrying that contrasting yarn. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that last stitch, work 1 more half double crochet in the back loop. And now I'm going to give the contrasting color a slight tug just to clean up that edge a little bit, but again, not too tight. You want it to have some give. But now we're going to take this contrasting color and we'll chain 1. Then we'll give it a turn, and we're going to work that single crochet row again. So making sure to carry this main color with you, you'll work 2 single crochets in that first stitch. So 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch across. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So just remember, whenever you're working with your contrasting yarn, you'll always have an odd number of stitches. And when you get to the end, just give it a nice little tug to clean it up. And then we're going to go back to our main color and chain 2. That's 1, 2. And we're back to the right side. So you're just going to continue in that pattern until you reach the halfway point of the measurement that you have for your dog's body of the scarf. So my body for my doggo is going to be 12 inches. So I'm going to continue the increases until I reach 6 inches. And I'll meet you when we get to that point. So I've continued with the 2-row repeat, and now I have 6 inches of the body of the scarf. And now we're ready to begin the decrease section. And that's where we're going to start closing up this triangle here. And you want to make sure that you're starting with the right side. So with your main color, we're going to begin by doing a chain 2. So 1, 2. Now we're going to rotate our work, and we're going to continue carrying our contrasting color with us. We're going to work a half double crochet in the back loop of that first stitch, and we're going to continue doing half double crochets in the back loop until we get to where 3 stitches remain. So I'm going to speed this up, and I'll meet you when we get down to that point. All right, now we're where we have 3 stitches left. And what we're going to do is over the next 2 in the back loop, we're going to work a half double crochet 2 together. So just yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, draw through all of those. And then we'll do 1 half double crochet in the back loop of that last stitch. And then I'm going to give this a little tug just to tidy it up and then even that out a little bit. All right, now we're ready to begin that wrong side row. So we're going to begin by chaining 1 of that contrasting color. Then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to make sure to carry our main color with us. Now we're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch. So single crochet. And then over the next 2, we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So 1 and 2. And I do these a little bit loosely just so we're not pulling. And now just work a single crochet in each stitch across. So those 2 decrease rows that I showed you are going to be what you'll be repeating until you're down to just 5 stitches left. And when you have those 5 stitches, you're going to be ending with your contrasting color. So I'm going to continue doing those 2 rows until I'm down to 5 stitches, and I'll meet you back at that point. So I continued with the repeats of the decrease rounds, and now I'm down to just 5 stitches that were done in my contrasting color. So now I'm going to cut my contrasting yarn, and we're now only going to work with the main color. So what we're going to do now is complete the decreases to where we get down to a total of 3 stitches. So we're going to chain those two. Then we're going to work in the back loop with a half double crochet. We'll do that once more with a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to half double crochet two together in the back loop over the next two stitches. And then we'll do a half double crochet in the back loop in that last stitch. Then we're going to chain one, we'll turn, and now we're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch, single crochet two together in the next two stitches, and then single crochet in that last stitch. So now you have a total of 3 stitches. Now we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and just work a half double crochet in that first stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, and a half double crochet in the next stitch. And that's going to become our repeat. So chain 2, turn to work, work a half double crochet in that first stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So now you are working on that second tie for your Snarf scarf. So you'll chain 2. So you'll just continue doing that repeat until you get that to the 6 inches or however long you did your first one. So that way you can tie this around your doggo. Now I'm going to keep repeating this row of doing the 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of that so I can show you how we do the border around this. So I finished the repeat for the strap for the tying, and make sure that when you finish it, you're on the right side of your work, because what we're going to do is do the border working down this side all the way down around the triangular bit, and then we're going to end at the end of the tie where we began the project. So to do this, we're going to start with the right side facing us, because we're not going to turn our work. We're just going to rotate it. We're going to do a chain 1. So just chain 1. And then we're going to evenly crochet down the strap. So just where you think there should be a single crochet, go ahead and do one. And just do so evenly around. And make sure it's not like bunching your piece together and pulling it tight or anything. So do that all the way down until you get to, I'll show you, until you get to the tip. When you get to the tip, and you can use a stitch marker to mark that if you want to, because I don't know about you, but once I get going on something, I tend to just keep going. I tend to forget. So I'm going to mark mine with a stitch marker just so I don't forget. So just evenly single crochet down that edge, and I'll meet you at this point. So I've worked the even single crochets all the way down the side, and now to the point where the tip is. And what I'm going to do in that spot is work 3 single crochets. That way it helps with the fanning with the point. Then we're going to continue working evenly with single crochet all the way down the side, all the way down to the end, to where we come up to where we began the project. So when you get to this little flap, I'll meet you right there, and then we'll finish this up together. So we're back to where we began the project, and what we're going to do now is do a chain 1, and then we're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. I'm going to work in the original chains. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you want to continue with a border around the top, you can do that. I haven't written the pattern to do that because I actually really like how this looks. But if you want to do that, you just simply chain 1 and then just single crochet evenly across the top, and then end over here by doing a chain 1 and then do a slip stitch and fasten off. But that is it for the crocheted Snarf scarf. I do hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you later with more patterns and tutorials. Thanks a bunch. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.